Department of Justice is launching an investigation into Jerome Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve, allegedly because he lied under oath to Congress about the scope of renovations happening on the Federal Reserve's Washington headquarters. And if you fell asleep during that explanation, I don't blame you. But listen to this shot of espresso from Powell himself, who disagrees about the grounds of the investigation, saying, quote, "The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public rather than following the preferences of the president," end quote. Over the years, President Trump has made his opinion of Powell very clear, referring to him publicly as, quote, "stupid and a loser," even having his press secretary, and this is true, reveal a note Trump passed to Powell with an arrow pointing at an interest rate next to the words "should be here" written in Sharpie. Forgive me if I'm hesitant to risk the country's entire monetary value at the request of someone who couldn't even get a casino to make money. So yeah, the DOJ is currently investigating Jerome Powell because of renovations that are over budget. Let's just start there. What do you think of that?
Well, you know, spending taxpayer dollars, there's a responsibility to that. And if he's done it by mistake, you know, there's two ways of looking at things. People make a mistake of the head, where they purposely do things wrong, and then people make a mistake of the heart. They were trying to do the right thing, and it went bad. I come from a career in law enforcement. Our cops, you're out there, and you're trying to do the right thing, and it's inevitable in law enforcement world that things go sideways. So you have training, you have policy, you have law, and you're trying to do the right thing, and you make a decision, and it goes the wrong way. Well, were you making a decision of the head to purposely do it wrong, or was it of the heart and it went wrong, right? When I look at this, I think there's a lot bundled in here when we're talking about this particular situation. Financially, Trump is a financial guy, and I like the little dig you throw me. He couldn't even make money with a casino. Well, you know what? A business is a business. Some businesses win, some businesses lose. You know, there's a lot to it as opposed to just, you know, oh, he had six failures. Well, he had 20 things that went great. You know, he's amazing business things and some bad ones. When you look at that and you say, why did this guy not bring the interest rates down when it was clear all the indicators that we've historically used to drop them, he wouldn't drop them. So it gave the indication that he was politically trying to be anti-Trump, Trump the rain. I'm not doing anything to help Trump. I don't care what the numbers say. I'm not going to do it. And how did that help you and me, the American citizens, right? So now he's building this building. All right. If he made a mistake, he undervalued the cost of the steel or the sheetrock or the labor, and it went over, that should be easy to show. If he did it on purpose to hide money, to move money, that's why we need to do the investigation. And I find it funny that our friends on the left weaponize the Department of Justice. It's undeniable what they did multiple times to try and get Trump in and out of office. And the investigations were scam investigations. You could see evidence was lost. They didn't talk to the right people. Unbelievable. Here, let's do the investigation. If the guy did nothing wrong, then President Joe would say, hey, I apologize for making it look like you were doing something wrong. Our investigation shows you didn't do anything wrong. But if he did do something wrong, then he has to be held to account, just like you and I have to be held to account. Pretty soon we're going to file taxes. And if you do something wrong, you're going to be held to account.
Don't presume I'm going to file taxes. I'm just kidding. The IRS, if you're listening, I'm just kidding. I agree with you to an extent. First of all, I believe that the DOJ's investigations into DJT, I just realized DOJ, DJT, into Donald Trump I believe they were warranted. Obviously, that's a discussion for another time. I do think that this is odd about. It feels like something that very easily could have been a letter or a conversation, and maybe it was, but it also feels like it isn't really about the cost of the buildings. It's about the fact that he lied under oath to Congress, right?
Yes.
So, or allegedly, that's the point that they're trying to get at. It seems like such an odd thing to try to stick to him, and like you said, it feels like a very easy thing to prove, if he has an estimate from contractors from, I don't know, 2 years ago or whenever they started these renovations that says one thing, it seems like an easy thing to be able to provide.